啦，进场拿飞机啦！现在。Hello， 大家好，这里是小航。那今天的话，我们是又回到了 St. Catharines 机场，然后今天我们要飞一个3D 环飞，从 St. Catharines 先飞到 St. Thomas， 然后再飞到 Hamilton， 最后回到 St. Catharines。Alright. Alright， 大家现在我们刚刚做完了飞机的绕机检查，然后也做好了这个，也推好飞机，然后现在准备启动。Okay, so pre-start check, operate record, and belts and doors secured, controls free and correct. Good. Good. Okay. And master off, fuel selector, left tank, make sure full reach, throttle a little bit inside, carry heat off, and the master switch on, time becomes on, and light as request, we don't need that, fuel quantity check full, and prime we don't need that for today, and brakes sets, and the purple area clear, clear pro! Okay, and get the key. Good, and check right side clear, left side clear, good. Okay, throttle set to 1000, and engine right check, green, good.
Romeo Mike Delta Roger, straight in, runway 0.
Check. Ramp check, aim on the master, on, flat rejet, and flying instrument check. So slide alignment, and altitude set, good. And the radio sets and check.
So testing traffic is
Radio is good.
Delta Fox Lima.
Golf Delta Fox wind 330 at 7, visibility 15, 3,300 few, 6,100 scattered, ceiling 25,000 broken, temperature 12.4, altimeter 3003,
And emitter
runway
full road.
24, inform St. Catharines Radio, you have information, hotel.
Emitter is 0, good.
St. Catharines Radio, information,
And
hotel,
also
weather
check
at
the
1700 Zulu,
alternator.
wind 330 at 7,
High
visibility
voltage,
15,
lights
3,300 few, 6,100 scattered, ceiling 25,000 broken, temperature
And, circuit break.
12.4, altimeter
All the way
3003,
in.
runway
Good.
24, inform St. Catharines Radio, you have information, hotel.
Check clear behind, a little bit right. Wrong check fuel cell right tank, throttle 1700. And the suctions 5, engine grade check,
Romeo
screen,
Delta, reserve the QEW
Magnetic
now
check.
on final 406.
good,
Romeo
Good.
Mike Delta, roger.
good. And emitter full
Golf Delta
roll,
Foxtrot Lima, St. Catharines Radio.
good,
Go ahead, Delta Fox Lima.
good.
Delta Foxtrot Lima, you are well above my
make
zone
sure
there
it's
at
good.
5,500. If you like flight following,
sure it's
contact
good.
Tunnel Center.
And the throttle hold to idle.
Tunnel City Center, altimeter next 30.
Okay, and carry here off, throttle back to 1000.
Thank you, Delta Fox Lima.
Wrong check complete, so... St. Catharines Radio, good afternoon. This is Cessna 172 Golf Yankee Zulu.
Cessna 172 Golf Yankee Zulu, St. Catharines Radio.
Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu, we get hotel on board, and today I'm gonna be VFR to St. Thomas. And any transfer request runway 01 for departure?
Golf Yankee Zulu affirmative, roger, runway 01. Wind now 330 at 8, altimeter 3003.
Altimeter 3003, runway 01, and just want to confirm the squawk code.
Golf Yankee Zulu, squawk code for you 5316.
Squawk code 5316, Golf Yankee Zulu. Okay, I'll
2
pre-taxi
One,
check
Star
this
Romeo
brake
Mike Delta
and
Roger,
flight
VFR
incumbent.
flights
Okay.
and closed loading services are terminated.
Okay, right side cleared, left side cleared. Good. Okay, brake check. Brakes working, good. St. Catherine Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu on the apron will be testing Alpha to runway 01 and westbound departure 2500.
Golf Yankee Zulu, Roger.
St. Catherine Radio, hello, this is
刚刚差点忘记这个 radio call.
Bravo India level 3000 feet inbound to the Jordan Harbor. Tracking southeastbound towards to Niagara for scenic tour, Uniform Bravo India.
Cessna 172 Golf Uniform Bravo India, St. Catherine's Radio Roger, the St. Catherine's altimeter 3003. And once you're south of my zone, I'll switch over to the false frequency 122.05. You'll need to be 3,500 or above.
Roger.
Okay, so before takeoff briefing, and you face on the runway, or we cannot make the takeoff before the center of the runway. Throttle close, control the red and brakes. If we have angel failure during takeoff, but we still have enough runway, glide 65, no touchdown. If we don't have enough runway, straight happy the backfield, make sure link fuel off, magnet off, and after you draw the flag, we can turn the master switch off. We cannot come back to airport below 1300 feet. Okay, so before takeoff briefing complete.
St. Catherine Radio, this is Cessna 172 Golf Uniform Bravo India level 3000 feet, climbing 3,700 feet, 100 feet, overhead off the Jordan Harbor, tracking southeast towards to Niagara Falls Port.
Uniform Bravo India, Roger.
Okay, so pre-takeoff checklist, fuel status full tank, fuel quantity check is full, and prime lock, and magnetars, both, and the light and street crash is beacon, and good, and camera key off, and make sure full reach, flap, we don't need that for today, chin. As you take off, check, and the front instrument check, CBO and dust secured. Pitot heat, we don't need that for today, and transponder ALT. Takeoff time record. St. Catherine Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu, taking runway 01, we're making westbound departure 2500.
Golf Yankee Zulu, St. Catherine's Radio Roger, runway 01.
Runway 01, Golf Yankee Zulu. Okay, good. Approaching 01, finals cleared, runways cleared. Okay, 2400 feet 的跑道，但是足够的。风非常的轻，不过问题不大。Okay， 然后也跑到
Bravo India, St. Catherine's Radio Niagara, altimeter 3003. You can switch to the false frequency 122.05.
Roger, switch your frequency 122.
Engine bright green, good.
From Bravo India.
Roger, you 2.
SB alive. 16 no condition point. Position recline.
Found out those bright lights ain't where I belong.
Okay, and 91 full climb. Okay, 可以看到前面的多伦多非常的漂亮。Okay, 91 in the trip.
Cessna 182 float plane, November 665, Papa Whiskey with hotel.
But tears filled my eyes when I found out she was gone.
Okay, 500 turning left.
I'd like to taxi the apron Alpha, hold short 06, and to depart on runway 01 if possible, going to Port Weller to do a couple of water takeoff and landing.
Okay, 所以第一个点的航向应该是270。
5320 from Papa Whiskey.
Golf Yankee Zulu, St. Catherine's Radio, do you see you're clear of the zone? Hamilton altimeter next 3002. And if you like flight following Toronto Center is 133.4.
Hamilton altimeter 3002 and Toronto terminal 133.445 following. Thank you and see you later. Golf Yankee Zulu. 2点08通过了这个Baden Tail Pump，先改平，253度航向，
不对，271应该是。第二个点是 Smithville，OK， 会在我们左侧，预计8分钟，7+8 2点15。Long radio Cessna 172 Golf Yankee Zulu。
Charlie Golf Yankee Zulu London Radio, go ahead.
Charlie Golf Yankee Zulu just departing from St. Catharines right now, and then I just update my ETA. Back to St. Catharines should be the local time 1730 local time.
Roger, updated ETA 1730 local 2130 Zulu.
Golf Yankee Zulu, thank you. 119.7. Toronto Terminal Go, afternoon, this is Cessna 172 Golf Yankee Zulu.
Golf Yankee Zulu, Toronto Terminal.
Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu, squawk 5316, 10 mile west of St. Catharines, request flight following.
Golf Yankee Zulu, squawk NS, altimeter 3002.
Squad item, altimeter 3002, Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu.
Yankee Zulu, you're identified at 4,500, thank you.
Golf Yankee Zulu. 现在拿到雷达识别，右边城市 Grimsby， 下面的城叫 Lincoln。我们左边要通过 Smithville。OK， 当前的时间是2点14分，然后我们比预计快了1分钟，所以就7分钟通过 Smithville。然后我们现在地数我们可以计算一下，13海里除以7.5乘以60，地数是104，正好，那没关系，我们是正好。好，下个点要10分15秒。那我们刚才2点14分到的，我们2点14已经过了一点点时间，然后2点14加10分，2点25分。OK， 2点25分到下一个点。OK， 然后这个油量我们可以算一下，我们预计应该也是1.3，正常。OK， 然后这就是我们一个目视领航。OK。前面有块云。哎，我讨论，所以有联系不到。我们直接联系 Hamilton Tower 125。Hamilton Tower, this is Cessna 172 Golf Yankee Zulu. Currently on the east side and 10 miles of Hamilton will be passing south side Caledonia and to the Townsend.
Golf Yankee Zulu, tower identified, time out to the east of the field at 4,400 feet. What altitude are you looking to cross south of Caledonia there?
Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu, currently only 4,500, but I see the ceiling is a little below, so I will descend to 2,500 to maintain the VNC. Golf Yankee Zulu.
Golf Yankee Zulu, tower, roger. There is traffic at 12 o'clock, 6 miles, looks like a couple VFRs in the circuit at York, type unknown, 2,000 feet unverified.
Golf Yankee Zulu, looking for traffic.
Mike Oscar Papa Tower, traffic, you're 1 o'clock, 3 miles northwestbound, type unknown, 2,300 feet unverified along the Grand River.
Mike Oscar Papa,
Roger.
Hamilton Tower, this is Golf 2, Charlie Echo.
Toronto Terminal, Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu, I have a prime run for you.
Golf Yankee Zulu, good.
Golf Yankee Zulu, I just see the cloud over the Hamilton. It should be about the 4,200 ceiling.
Okay, Golf Yankee Zulu, I'll make note of that, thank you.
You're welcome. OK， 现在我们右侧通过 Caledonia， 然后我们看一下时间，我们记一下时间，2点28啊，我靠 ！OK， 我们所以比预计多了3分钟，用了14分钟到这里。 但是我们不用计算 ground speed， 因为有个问题是我们刚才绕路了，对吧？所以我们这次就别计算 ground speed 了。计算 ground speed 也是错的，我们就还是用104，然后下个点就 modify 加下个点的时间就 OK。下个点2点28加9分钟，9分20秒，那个2点37分到达这个叫做 waterfall 的这个地方。OK， 行，那我们就继续飞往下个点。OK， 我们已经找到了这个 waterfall 很好，这个左边有个小池塘，对吧？对 ，OK， 那现在我们就记一下时间 ，OK， 2点37 ，OK， 然后下个点的话是这个 Towson Bog 12分钟，37加12，7加2是9，所以就是2点49分到 ，OK， 然后地数呢还是104，因为没有变化。好，那我们就开始叠地图。
Under control there now. 135, get in.
1353, thank you for your help. Good call, thank you.
Have a good day.
You too, you too. 135.3 ，OK。好，135.3设置好了。Toronto Terminal Good afternoon. This is Cessna 172 Golf Yankee Zulu, Squawk code 5316. Maintain 3,100 westbound, currently 18 miles eastern the Towson Bog Airport with you.
Golf Yankee Zulu, Toronto Center, you're identified. Altimeter at London 3006. Maintain VFR at all times.
Altimeter 3006 at London and maintain VFR all the time. Golf Yankee Zulu. OK， 好，没关系。下个点我会直接飞过一个城市叫做 Towson Bog。
Golf Yankee Zulu, VFR traffic, 12 o'clock, 5 miles, southbound, 2,900, that's unverified, type unknown.
Golf Yankee Zulu looking for traffic, thank you.
Cold and lonely. I wiped my eyes and told him about her.
Golf Yankee Zulu, confirm you're tracking to St. Thomas.
Golf Yankee Zulu, April.
Roger, you're going northwestbound right now. St. Thomas is off your left side, about off your left wing, 9 o'clock at 30 miles.
Golf Yankee Zulu, Roger, thank you. What the hell 这条高速
Sheer Squawk 4345, we'll try and get to the Delta Foxtrot, thank you.
现在我们来改航，因为刚才我们飞得有点偏。先 estimate 一个 heading， 拿出我的领航尺。应该飞一个大概240。
Golf Yankee Zulu, you're now southbound. St. Thomas is about a 240 heading from your present position and 20 miles.
Golf Yankee Zulu, thank you so much. We'll be taking 240.
Golf Yankee Zulu, surveillance service terminates 10 miles from St. Thomas. Squawk 1200, cleared en route.
Squawk 200, clear en route. That's Golf Yankee Zulu. Okay, Squawk 1200 and St. Thomas. St. Thomas frequency.
Delta Foxtrot, traffic for you at 1 o'clock, 6 miles northwestbound, 3,400 unverified. Delta Foxtrot.
St. Thomas Unicom, this is Cessna 172 Golf Yankee Zulu. Just want to confirm which runway you're using right now at St. Thomas.
Golf Yankee Zulu, St. Thomas Unicom, last reported traffic use 27.
Cessna Golf Golf Yankee Zulu, Roger, thank you so much. OK， 我们找一下 St. Thomas 的 CFS。St. Thomas traffic, this is Cessna 170 Golf Golf Yankee Zulu, currently 3000 at the inside 8 miles inbound area. Will be fly to the field and over the field and join left downwind for runway 27 full stop St. Thomas traffic. OK， 看到机场了，我们要沿着跑道的北侧先飞越机场，然后在500英尺高的地方，然后飞越它，然后飞越之后呢，我们左转加入了3边，然后加入跑道的27号，然后full stop。OK， 这个地方的场高是700，所以呢，它 circuit altitude 应该是1800，我加58加5等于13，2300。St. Thomas traffic Cessna 170 Golf Golf Yankee Zulu, currently 2,300 over the top of the St. Thomas airfield. Will be turning left midfield downwind for runway 27 full stop St. Thomas traffic. OK， 现在开始下降。St. Thomas traffic Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu, only final portion runway 27 St. Thomas. 我的天，这么颠！还有右侧风，我操，好他妈刺激的落地。OK。啊，落地非常的屎，人家太他妈颠了，这地方。右侧风。
St. Thomas traffic, Golf Uniform, Julia Sierra. Ready for taxi, on apron 2, ready for taxi to Alpha. For run up.
He said that he was going as far as Gatlinburg. I climbed up in the cab all wet and cold and lonely.
Okay. St. Thomas traffic Cessna 120 Golf Golf Yankee Zulu, clear runway 27 by Bravo, and then we'll taxi back to April, St. Thomas.
St. Thomas traffic, Cessna Skymaster Golf X-ray Mike Alpha is lining up runway 27 for St. Thomas.
OK， 记一下时间，着陆时间现在是3点10分。这边有一个那个是飞机涂装工厂，然后很多飞机就在这个地方就是上涂装。
St. Thomas traffic, X-ray Mike Alpha is departing the area to the northeast, 2600. St. Thomas traffic.
I can't blame her for letting go.
可以，咱们就停这。
A woman needs someone warm to hold. I feel the rain running down my face. I'll find her no matter what it takes.
OK， 然后 OK。Short down checklist. Okay, radio 121.5 check. Good. And ELT slides up. Then flight magnitude check. Good. And make sure idle cut off. Okay, and then all lights off.
And signals off and optical and face up. Okay. 接下来做快速绕机检查。首先就是，毕竟我们每次起飞还是确保这边没问题，这个 OK， 襟翼应该是能动的，还得放下放出来。再放一点就 OK 了。看一下这个连接装置 OK。 对，太刹车。I'll be bucking at the county fair. Amarillo by morning. Amarillo, I'll be there. 这 OK。轮胎刹车 OK。They took my saddle in Houston, broke my leg in Santa Fe. Lost my wife and a girlfriend somewhere along the way. I'll be looking for 8 when they pull that gate. 可以低于6一点点没关系。好 ，OK。前轮也好 ，OK， 行，就绕一检查完成。现在我们拉一个这个梯子，然后来检查一下飞机上的燃油。OK， 来检查一下，看有多少油。还有12加仑。然后去看一下另外一边。 我们看一下这一边，这边多点，那个16加仑。OK， 那一会儿我们切到右油箱去拿一下。
A few moments later.
Clear, Prof. This was 1000 engine bridge. St. Thomas traffic, this is Cessna 172 Golf Yankee Zulu, current on the April, will be taxiing Alpha to runway 27, St. Thomas traffic. Good. OK， 滑行检查，首先刹车检查加推力，好 ，brake check, brake swap, good.
St. Thomas traffic, Golf X-ray Mike Foxtrot turning 2.6 miles, final 27 full stop, St. Thomas. Long final. Sir.
Turning final the long way.
Thank you, sir. Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu will be taking runway 27 for departure. Okay, so takeoff time.
See you.
Assessing on the taxiway Bravo, did you clear the runway?
And Zulu Whiskey is clear of all runways at Bravo, St. Thomas.
St. Thomas traffic center 172 Golf Yankee Zulu rolling 27 and will be making downwind departure to the Hamilton St. Thomas traffic. Okay, good. Engine bright green.
St. Thomas traffic, approximately mile tolerable.
SBN live.
Left turn at southeast departure.
60 rotate.
Climbing to 3,500. St. Thomas traffic.
St. Thomas traffic Cessna 172 Golf Yankee Zulu outbound runway 27 and will be making left and downwind departure to the Hamilton St. Thomas. Okay, 91.5.
Traffic Cessna 172 Golf X-ray Mike Foxtrot 1 mile following 27 full stop, St. Thomas traffic.
50 OK 500尺转 close speed。St. Thomas traffic Cessna 172 Golf Yankee Zulu clear St. Thomas
XI 5000 and 3000. This is my last coverage change to the new frequency, St. Thomas traffic. London Radio, good afternoon, this is Cessna 170, Golf Yankee Zulu.
Golf Yankee Zulu on the radio.
London Radio, Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu, just update my flight plan. I currently departing from St. Thomas. It's been landing at Hamilton 2045 Zulu, and it's been landing St. Catharines 2130 Zulu.
And Golf Yankee Zulu, London Radio, Roger, showing your ETA back into St. Catharines at 2130 Zulu. And Hamilton altimeter from the hour was 3001.
Altimeter 3001 for Hamilton, and then St. Catharines, yeah, April, ETA is April, Golf Yankee Zulu. OK， 然后应该这里的 flight following 的话是135.3。Toronto, good afternoon. This is Cessna 170, Golf Yankee Zulu.
Golf Yankee Zulu Toronto Terminal. Make sure your transponder is turned on. And squawk 4733.
Squawk 4733, Golf Yankee Zulu. Currently, it's 9 miles east in the St. Thomas Airport. Request flight following at 3000.
Golf Yankee Zulu, you are identified at 3000, altimeter 3007. What's your destination?
Altimeter 3007. My first destination is Hamilton, and then just make a full stop, and then departing to St. Catharines. Golf Yankee Zulu.
Golf Yankee Zulu, Roger, you're identified.
Golf Yankee Zulu. Toronto terminals, Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu, just passing the Brantford here, and I would like to cancel flight following, switch to the Hamilton Tower.
Golf Yankee Zulu, Roger, surveillance source terrain, contact the Hamilton Tower 125.0.
125.0, signal server, Golf Yankee Zulu.
Golf November Extra Tango, are you aware of the Rockton gliders today?
我们先听一下。
No, sir, I am not.
128.1。
Okay, November Extra Tango, Rockton.
Hamilton Information Sierra.
Hamilton Tower, good afternoon, this is Cessna 170, Golf Yankee Zulu, squawk 4733, and currently it's about 5 miles west in Hamilton Control Zone, looking for landing instruction.
Golf Yankee Zulu, Hamilton Tower, squawk ident, and sorry, say your intentions.
Squawk ident, request full stall landing, Golf Yankee Zulu.
Golf Yankee Zulu Tower identified 12 miles west of the field, 3,600 feet. Runway 30, wind 31010, altimeter 3001, cleared left downwind.
Runway 30, clear left downwind, Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu. 30, so Hamilton Tower, Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu, just want to confirm I will be flying south side at the airport and then join left downwind to runway 30.
Golf Yankee Zulu Tower, it'll be left downwind for runway 30. It'll be from the south side.
Roger, from the south side, join left downwind runway 30, Golf Yankee Zulu. OK， 前面就是哈密尔顿机场，然后我们可以看到那个地方呢会有个博物馆，可以看到很多古老的飞机，我们应该空中应该是可以看到。然后这里的场高是779，780，所以我们一会儿要下到1800的 30 altitude，1800 feet。Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu on the left downwind runway 30, full stop.
Golf Yankee Zulu Tower number 1.
Number 1, Roger, Golf Yankee Zulu.
Golf Yankee Zulu Tower, wind 340 at 4, cleared to land runway 30.
Okay, runway 30 Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu。OK， 那我们直接做一个那个 power off 吧，这样的话可以稍微节省点时间，因为已经拿到 landing clearance 了。OK， flat 10。对，因为跑道非常长，所以我们不用担心。OK， 底下有个卡丁车场，这个地方我还来跑过卡丁车。flat 30，我们用30度紧急就可以了，因为今天这个地方比较bumpy，风比较乱。OK， 下滑好。哎，这是艺术。OK， 我们不用刹车，我们一会脱离。
Golf Yankee Zulu Tower, you can make the 180 and we'll go right on runway 24. Contact ground 121.6 when off.
180 vacate 24 and contact second frequency, please.
Golf Yankee Zulu for ground, you can contact me on ground 121.6 when off.
1216, thank you. Golf Yankee Zulu. Okay, pulse landing check. Runway clear, stop, and keep the heat off, and pitot heat off. Battery jet, and flight request, and transponder standby. Time down. Time down. 减速18。Hamilton ground, this is Cessna 122 Golf Yankee Zulu. Clear runway 30 via runway 06.
Golf Yankee Zulu, Hamilton ground. You can make the 180 there. Hold short runway 30. You can contact me on tower 125.0 when you're ready to go.
Okay, so making 180 and hold short runway 30, 125 when ready to go. And Golf Yankee Zulu, thank you. 哎，所以再来掉个头。OK， 所以首先是在 Hamilton 的起飞检令。Okay, before take off briefing, if I have any failure on the runway, throttle close, control all the way back and brake, and then don't go to your point attachment Charlie. So if we cannot make the attachment Charlie for the takeoff, just take off board and stand above procedure then the engine failure. And if engine failure during the takeoff but still have the runway, go SB65, don't touch down. So if you don't have the runway, make sure link fuel off, magnets off, and after the flap, we turn the master switch off, and then we cannot come back to airport below 1800 feet. And the before takeoff briefing complete, so pre-takeoff checklist. Fuel at the boat tank, fuel quantity verified. So the right side have more fuel. I just forgot to switch the right hand that time. Prime law, magnets on both, and light as request. Don't need that. Let's become. And then carry key code and make sure full reach and flat reject and chain. Let it take off, good. And the flying instrument set, so the heading should be good. 001, yes, and then mail and door secure, and pitot heat check, and transponder ALT and takeoff time record. So the secure generic log. Hamilton Tower, Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu, ready for departure.
Golf Yankee Zulu, Hamilton Tower. The runway length remaining from runway 06 and 30 is 8,200 feet. Are you able to depart from the intersection?
Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu, A4, accept the intersection departure.
Golf Yankee Zulu Tower at runway 06, line up and wait, runway 30.
At 06, line runway 30, Golf Yankee Zulu.
Golf Yankee Zulu Tower, where are you headed now? Back to St. Catharines?
Golf Yankee Zulu April.
Golf Yankee Zulu Tower, right turnout is approved. Remain north of the approach runway 30. Traffic on approach. Wind 310 at 7 from runway 06. Clear takeoff runway 30.
Right hand turn on approach and remain north of the approach. Traffic on approach and then clear for takeoff runway 30. Back to St. Catharines. Golf Yankee Zulu. Okay.
India Echo November Tower, what are your missed approach instructions?
Right green.
Missed approach instructions. Runway heading 3000.
SB alive.
Roger.
60, rotate.
Maintenance 23 ground, cross runway 30.
Cross runway 30 for maintenance 23.
OK， 那既然是 right hand departure， 我一会应该是有机会飞过我的学校和我家，非常的有意思。好，这边是 Hamilton Mountain。Hamilton Tower Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu, confirm. Can I just fly to the downtown first, and then follow the shoreline to St. Catharines?
Golf Yankee Zulu Tower approved. What altitude are you planning?
Probably just 3,000 below.
Golf Yankee Zulu Tower, Roger. Report clearing the zone to the northeast.
Report clearing the zone northeast, Golf Yankee Zulu. OK， 那我们前面就是 Hamilton downtown， 我们可以来看个风景。
Maintenance 23 ground, hold short runway 30, traffic on approach.
Maintenance 23 ground, hold short runway 30, traffic, maintenance 23.
Hamilton Tower, Charlie Golf, November, we're in the best.
哇塞，看到我家了
November Tower, contact Toronto Center 119.7. Maintenance 23 ground, proceed on to runway 1230, cross runway 06. Golf Yankee Zulu Tower, surveillance service is terminated, change en route frequency, have a good flight.
Change route frequency, Golf Yankee Zulu, thank you for your service, have a nice day. Toronto Terminal, good afternoon again, this is Cessna 120 Golf Yankee Zulu, Squawk 4732.
Golf Yankee Zulu, Toronto Terminal.
Toronto Terminal Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu, just leaving Hamilton, and currently 1 mile eastern Skyway Bridge, and request flight following.
Golf Yankee Zulu identified at 2,900 for St. Catharines. The altimeter there is 3002.
St. Catharines altimeter 3002, Golf Yankee Zulu. OK， 然后现在我们用的导航方法叫做 Pilot Edge， 就是完全靠连续地标导航。那我们知道这个高速是可以带我们到 St. Catharines 的，那我们就直接沿着高速飞就好了。然后我们左下角就这条伊丽莎白女王高速。Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu, just very close to St. Catharines, request cancel flight following, switch to the St. Catharines radio.
Okay, Golf Yankee Zulu, roger. Watch the traffic previously passed. There's 2 other aircraft between you and St. Catharines. One not showing an altitude, NORA type. The other one, IFR climbing out of 3,400 feet.
Golf Yankee Zulu, roger, thank you. Switch to St. Catharines radio.
St. Catharines radio, 12325.
12325, St. Catharines radio, thank you. Golf Yankee Zulu. 12852.
St. Catharines information, Lima. Zarya 2100 Zulu. Wind 340 at 8, visibility 15, 4000 fuel, temperature 15, 2.4. Altimeter 3002. Runway 06. And from St. Catharines that you have information, Lima.
Lima, okay. St. Catharines radio, good afternoon, this is Cessna 120 Golf Yankee Zulu with Lima.
Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu, St. Catharines radio.
Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu, currently over the Jordan Harbor at 3000. Inbound will be join right, correction, left base for runway 06 and full stop.
Golf Yankee Zulu, St. Catharines, you, Roger, runway 06, Mike 3308, altimeter 3002.
Altimeter 3002, Golf Yankee Zulu. 可以准备下降 ，make sure full reach, carry heat on, check. Accept the Golf Yankee Zulu, I will be for the shoreline until the canal and join left base for runway 06.
Golf Yankee Zulu, Roger.
这个路径跟我之前我去视频里面飞的很像啊，当时也是这么飞的。Okay, people landing check, prime low, mass switch on, make the balls, okay, very good, and carry heat on, make sure full refuel at the balls, brake check, and pocket brace off, good. Then carry your Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu on the left base, runway 06, stop. We check flight 10, 1, 2, 3.
Golf Yankee Zulu, Roger.
OK， 然后900尺进 final， 机场在我们的左侧。OK， final cleared， 准备左转，正10。Okay, passing the canal, then to the final. 1, 2, 3, 30 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 40 seconds. Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu on the final approach runway 06.
Golf Yankee Zulu, Roger 13308.
OK， 我们落白块，然后直接脱离出去就好。好吗？So clear.
St. Catharines Radio, this is Skyhawk Golf Foxtrot Victor Sierra with Lima.
Skyhawk Golf Foxtrot Victor Sierra, St. Catharines Radio.
Foxtrot Victor Sierra is ready to taxi Alpha for 1, student 1 instructor on board. Going to be departing to the practice area to the west at 3,500.
Foxtrot Victor Sierra, St. Catharines Radio, Roger, runway 06, squawk code 1260.
10 for Foxtrot Victor Sierra.
OK, FBS 在那里，又是我们的老熟人了。OK, and find down.
Keep on
落地时间5点18。Call sign check, clear runway stop check, and then carry key off and keep the heat off. Just let jet and light to turn the become and then check bond the standby. High down record, call sign 15. Second Cessna Golf Yankee Zulu, clear runway 06 by Bravo, expect to back up, clear close, my 5 10.
Golf Yankee Zulu, VFR flight plan closed.
Golf Yankee Zulu, thank you so much, have a nice day.
Same to you.
I feel the rain running down my face. I'll find her no matter what it takes.
Okay. So pulse and shutdown check, radio 1.5 check. Good. Then ELT slides off, then the master off. Flight check.